Hey guys, Big Red 310s here again with another just another video just about a DVD review, a live report, and a topic I've always wanted to talk about. I made my no-name indie wrestling promotions video yesterday, so I might not upload this when I record it. I might wait a little bit. So maybe my references might be a day off or something like that. So I want to talk about the subject. It's called April. Wrestling's prime. I've always believed that April is the best month for pro wrestling the entire year. If you ask me what the worst month for pro wrestling is the entire year, I would say May, June, that area. Nothing's really going on. It's the summer. Wrestling's never very good in the summer. So that would be my pick. But April definitely, I think, is the prime of wrestling. WWE is at its peak from December. Notice I didn't say January. I said December because I always loved the December pay-per-view from the WWE. 2008 TLC, the 2008 Armageddon when Jeff Hardy won the title. It's one of my favorite pay-per-views of the past 10 years. 2009's TLC, I thought was a great show. This past year's TLC, I thought it was very good, but a lot of people thought it was a great show. The December pay-per-view and in some years you can include Survivor Series, but you can't include last year's. So from the December pay-per-view through WrestleMania, that's when you have the prime. That's when WWE's at their best. That's when they're at their A game. WrestleMania's coming. They have to build all their storylines. We get the best stuff from them. Sure, the Cena Rock stuff has been good, though the Cena Miz stuff is not. And sure, you can argue, oh, but it's the prime. Why isn't this stuff good? Well, we got Cole Lawler, which is very good, all things considered. So I take that into account. So yeah, definitely WWE's at its peak. TNA is not at its peak. In my opinion, the best years for TNA are from No Surrender through Final Resolution. That end of the year where Bound for Glory is, the November pay-per-view, which this past year was an exception, but in previous years, usually is really good. And No Surrender and the last pay-per-view of the year usually are always really good. And those two shows last year I actually thought were two of the best TNA pay-per-views all of last year. So, but still, Lockdown is still a big deal for them. Many years Lockdown has beat Bound for Glory. Last year it did not, but there's been many times where Lockdown has gotten more buys than Bound for Glory. So if you take that into account, I feel that Lockdown is usually a high point for TNA. Ring of Honor, they have their Atlanta pay-per-views. Honor takes center stage. Those are obviously a big deal. This is not necessarily that each promotion's in its prime, but just the month as a whole, you get the best of everything. Dragon Gate has the Atlanta pay-per-views. Chikara has King of Trios. CCW has the best of the best. And ECWA is having their Super 8 tournament on iPPV. So yeah, all this stuff in 1 month. This is just a wonderful month for professional wrestling. It's my absolute favorite every year, and I'm very excited for it, for everything included. I'm not going to exactly give you a preview of each show, because I don't really do that, and I vowed never to preview or give predictions for mainstream wrestling pay-per-views anymore. I don't do them anymore. I don't like them, and I haven't done them in 2 years. So yeah. I'd still review indie shows, so I'll give you some links. That's what I'll do. I'll just talk in general, not necessarily preview, just in general. WrestleMania. This year, I think WrestleMania is going along just fine. I've seen a lot of people complaining, saying, oh, well, it doesn't feel as special as previous years. No, the main event doesn't feel as special as last year's main event. Because 2009, while the build for Triple H Orton was very good, that whole show I wasn't really that motivated for besides Taker Michaels. And yeah, granted, but we don't have that Taker Michaels match this year. No, we don't, but Taker Michaels was only one of... Taker Michaels, technically, there was 2 matches that went after Taker Michaels, both world title matches. And I wasn't excited for either of those 2 world title matches. I'm more excited for this year's world title matches than I was in 2009, even though the build for Triple H Orton was very good. Going into the main, I just kept thinking, I've seen this match a million times. Why is this interesting? And the Cena Edge Big Show storyline I thought was horrible. But Triple H Randy Orton, I just wasn't that motivated. It didn't feel important to me. The build was great, and I knew it would be I didn't think it would bomb as bad as it did, but it just didn't feel important to me. It's not like Taker Michaels, which felt important. It was more like the WrestleMania as a whole felt important. But Triple H Randy Orton did not feel like, special. To me, it just felt like another WWE pay-per-view main event. And the triple threat, like I said, I thought that match was booked very poorly from the get-go. This year, Cena Miz feels more special to me only because of The Rock. Granted, the Cena Miz stuff could be better, but that match it's different. We don't really see that match, and especially if Christian's added to that Edge Del Rio match, that match would also feel more special to me than the 3-way because this match has been built very well. I haven't seen the entire SmackDown build, I don't watch SmackDown every week. I only watch it on occasion. And when I do watch it, I only watch the stuff I look for, the stuff I want to watch. My DVR forgets to record it most weeks. So that's why. But I always look for the Edge Del Rio stuff. And their stuff is really good. The build for this feud has been really, really good. But like I said, the build has been really good. Problem is, not many people have seen it. And if Christian's at it, especially, that would also be really good. So yeah, like I said, people are downing on Mania this year. But in my opinion, it's no different from most years. I mean, last year's Edge Jericho feud was horrible. I thought that build was terrible. I hated that build from Edge and Jericho. And it felt like one of the least important big matches on the show. It wasn't even a big match. Like Brett Vince, Cena Batista, freaking the main event all felt not only more special, but much more special. I mean, the match went on like 6th, 5th. It went on slightly in the mid-card. These two world title matches feel more special to me than most world title matches from previous Manias. Not Cena Batista, obviously not. But yeah, Triple H Orton Cena, I didn't like and Undertaker Edge, I didn't like the build to that much at all. So yeah, people are downing on Mania, but I really don't have that much of a problem with it. I'm sorry that we don't have. I think people have been spoiled by Taker Michaels, or no, Shawn Michaels in general. I mean, yeah, you had Taker Michaels, then you had Michaels Flair, you had Michaels in the main event the year prior. I think people have been spoiled by having Shawn Michaels in big WrestleMania matches that they're just going to turn on the entire show. I honestly don't think the show is being built that horribly. I think the world title matches built have been fine. And actually not even more than fine. I'm more interested in them than I've been in previous years. So that's my little quote-unquote rant on that. And I'm looking forward to the undercard a little bit. I'm looking forward to Daniel Bryan and Sheamus. Daniel Bryan always delivers. This is WrestleMania. You can give that match 8 minutes, and that match will still be a really good match. That's just my personal. Maybe not really good. Did you guys see the Raw match? The Raw match was only went like 8-9 minutes. I thought that was a really good TV match. Like, I like that almost as much as the Daniel Bryan Miz match from a few weeks ago, which everyone went crazy over. So, yeah, definitely a lot of good stuff from Danielson delivers. Cody Rhodes Mysterio, I think that will be a good match. Even, I mean, Ray and Punk only got like 6 minutes last year, and they still put on a good show. I think these guys can do the same. The women's match, I think, will be interesting. Like, to me, it's better that Snooki's in it than Kelly because, well, I'm not a fan of Jersey Shore. One of my brothers really likes it, and I sometimes watch it with him, but I'm not like exactly a fan of it. But I think there's a dynamic to it, you know. With Kelly and I thought it would have just been another standard boring match. No, this is interesting, at least with Snooki. Whether or not the match is going to, and Trish too, whether or not the match is going to go well or not. Okay, the Nexus Core, alright, the core shit, whatever the fuck is going on with that, okay, we'll just put that to the side. That is irrelevant. And Cole Lawler looks awesome. I think that's going to be a really fun segment. I think that segment might possibly be the best thing about the whole Mania. See, I said this in my last video. Sometimes segments can be better than matches. Sometimes, I know it's wrestling, we want to see wrestling matches, and segments may be considered entertainment television, but no, I think with wrestling elements in it, segments can sometimes be better than matches, and could be the highlights of whole shows. So that's why I'm really looking forward to Cole Lawler. I think that whole thing is going to be built and structured very well. And the main event, that's my really only gripe with the show. Taker Triple H, I 100% agree with Bryan Alvarez. I'm not into this match at all. There's no dynamic to it. It's just kind of there, in my opinion. I don't think it should main event at all. In my personal opinion, I think Cena Miz should main event, especially with the whole Rock thing, because if you think about it, the reason that I would say a lot of people are ordering this Mania is to see what the fuck happens with Rock Cena. Whether or not we're going to like what happens, I'm pretty sure we're not going to like what happens. That's what people want to see. People are ordering the pay-per-view to see that. That match has been built for months. Granted, it could have been built better, but it's been built nonetheless. People want to see The Rock. That's why, in my opinion, that match should go on last. I do not think Taker Triple H should. That match just doesn't have any dynamic to it. Honestly, I don't think that match is going to be that good. I've seen some people saying, I think it'll be this great match. Why? Because Taker supposedly always delivers when it comes to WrestleMania? Triple H doesn't. So, what the fuck? And everyone's saying, oh, we need Triple H to carry Undertaker. Well, Triple H does not do well in WrestleMania. Not at all. I don't think this match will be that special. I don't think it has much build behind it. And I really don't want it to go on last. I know it will, but I'm going to be pissed. So that part I can understand. I can see that's where my argument is flawed. Because people can point out, well, we don't like the main event. And Mania is always built around the main event. Yeah, you're right. But like I said, I'm not down on this card. I'm looking forward to the show. I think it's going to be a really good show. I'm not necessarily looking forward to I think it'll be. I'm not necessarily looking forward to the main event, but I think I will still enjoy the main event, even though I just crapped on it the past 2 minutes. No, but still, I do think the match will have something. These guys still know what they're doing. Then again, supposedly Triple H knew what he was doing with Orton and with Jericho and with Batista, but whatever. Basically, you understand why I do not like Triple H main eventing WrestleMania. Also, Triple H has said in the past that no matter what, the world title matches should go on last. Hey, this year you don't have a world title match in your match, so what's going on? Oh, wait, you're still going to main event with very little build. Good job. So, yeah, don't like this match at all. They should have had Michaels as ref. They should have at least had Triple H just streak on line. Then it would have a dynamic to it. Now it's just there for me. Lockdown, don't want to talk about it. I do not like that main event at all with Sting, Anderson, and Van Dam. Not looking forward to it at all. Lethal Lockdown this year looks like a disaster like it usually is. Freaking Angle Jarrett, I like. I think that'll be interesting. I've been saying this. I haven't been like that quote unquote high on TNA right now, but I will say this: I really like that Brother Ray Brother Devon feud. I think that feud is really good. I really enjoy everything about it. I think the booking is really good. I've even liked their matches. Sure, their PPV matches haven't exactly been like amazing, but I still feel they've been like, you know, great. They furthered along the storylines very well. I kind of liked their first match. Their second match could have been better, but like I said, I think everything just furthered along the storyline very well. So I was really pissed when, because Jeff Hardy fucked up, they said we're going to replace him with Brother Ray, and now the Brother Ray, Brother Devon feud that you've been working on for months is just going to be thrown away. Fuck you. No. And Madison Ray, Mickie James, they've been delaying this Mickie James title win forever. It better happen here, but yeah, not that excited for Lockdown, but hey, it's still one of TNA's biggest pay-per-views of the year. So I still got to say it's part of wrestling's prime. Ring of Honor looks amazing this year. I think these two shows are going to be incredible. I really liked what Bill said. And if anyone hasn't seen him and Doug's podcast, Submit to Reality, it's pretty good. Check it out. There was parts of it I didn't like, but there were parts I did. He made a good point. He said, you should order this pay-per-view because depending on what you like, you're going to get the 3 best matches from the last 3 iPay-per-views. Eddie Edwards vs. Christopher Daniels, Kings of Wrestling vs. World's Greatest Tag Team, and Roderick Strong, Davey Richards. Now, obviously, he even said this. Most people would like Steen Generica more. I myself like Steen Generica more. But Roddy Davey Richards was still an amazing match. And there were a lot of people who thought that was the best match on the show. So, yeah, you get the show. You get the 3 best matches from the previous 3 iPay-per-views. And then you also get the Briscoes, Cole and O'Reilly. I love Cole and O'Reilly. I've been waiting for the Cole and O'Reilly Kings of Wrestling match for a while now. Thank God it's finally happening. You'll get El Generico, Michael Elgin. You'll get some form of woman 6-man Joshi match, which will be really fun. All Night Express on the show, Cabana's on the show, looking to be good. And the second show I think is also very good. Wolves versus World's Greatest Tag Team. That sounds awesome. Kings of Wrestling versus Cole and O'Reilly. I've been waiting for this match for such a long time. I was actually furious when Adam Cole was going to Europe, because then I thought, oh man, no, we're not going to get to see the Kings of Wrestling, Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole tag team title match, because I thought that after the Kings lost the titles, I thought they were going to break them up, because Ring of Honor kind of needs them right now as singles wrestlers, and we have a lot of tag teams to thrive. And I'm like, oh man, I'm never going to see it. But thankfully, at least for one more day after they lose the titles, I'm sorry, I don't think there's any way Haas and Benjamin don't win the titles that day. At least one more day after, we're going to see the Kings of Wrestling Kyle O'Reilly matchup, so I can be happy. Roderick Generico, I just saw that match on SoCal Showdown II. That should be good. The Briscoes versus the All Night Express, Cabana, Dave Taylor. And the best part is you get both shows for $20. $20. WrestleMania is freaking $60. Lockdown is going to be $40. Pay $20 for 2 shows. Hell, you could have paid $20 for 1 show, and it still would have been way worth your money. This is 2 shows for $20. It's insane. Order the show now. I'm going to put the link down there. Chikara's King of Trios. I think this year King of Trios looks incredible. Trucer was really badly wants to go. I don't know if he's going to go or not, but yeah, and without question, this year could possibly be the best year yet. I mean, you have Fist, The Colony, Osirian Portal, The Soul Touchers, The Throwbacks, Mike Quackenbush, Jigsaw, and Manami Toyota coming back. Kizarni and the Batiri. Tim Donst with the BDK team. It's Tim Donst, Delirious, and Jacob Hammermeyer. All Chikara fans must realize how awesome that is. Team Australia, Team Michinoku Pro, which includes the great Sasaki, and Hakushi. Osaka Pro, Amazing Red, and Joel and Jose Maximo. 3.0 and El Generico. Hollow Wicked, Ultramantis Black, and Frightmare. Eric Cannon, Darren Corbin, and X-Pac. And then you have Akira Tozawa, Super Shenlong, and Kagetora. But yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, I've heard a lot of people talk about the great Sasaki, but I think people are kind of sleeping on X-Pac, Amazing Red, and Manami Toyota. Those three names to me are kind of a big deal. And like I said, Team Australia, I'm really interested to see how that team works. So yeah, they have such a great lineup this year. I think the shows are going to be amazing. Definitely recommend checking those shows out. If you live in the Philly area, go check them out. You won't regret it. It's such a tremendous show. You'll see such amazing talent. I'll put the links to all three shows in the description box. Well, not really all three shows. I'll just put a link to one of the shows because the three shows only list the teams. So I'll put a link to the show, to the teams, so you can see it, I guess. Then we got Dragnet USA's Atlanta pay-per-views. I think people are sleeping on these pay-per-views. Trademark69 said it best on Twitter. He's like, yeah, they have some good cards. No one's really talking about them. They do. Austin Aries is retiring, for those who do not know, for those who did not see his Tough Enough video. And he's fighting Yamato, where the stipulation is if he loses, he has to leave, he has to retire from wrestling. And he actually is going to retire from wrestling, he says. No one ever really retires from wrestling, right? But, so, I believe, it's weird. I believe this show's on iPPV, but the next night is not. I think the next night's a pay-per-view taping. I'm not sure how it works. Because I know that show's an iPPV. But it's kind of weird. They started a new website where all their shows are on iPPV now, including Evolve. But for whatever reason, that show, the very next night, is not on iPPV. Why even bother doing? I don't know. But yeah, you have Yamato versus Aries. You have Blood Warriors versus Ronin. That's Dragon Gate 6-man. Pac versus Akira Tozawa. That match sounds insane. Masato Yoshino versus Sami Callihan, which I'm really looking forward to. A 6-man elimination match. John Moxley versus Eric Cannon. That show sounds wonderful. I really think that's going to be a really great show. And then the next night, which I don't think is as hot, but still really good. I believe Aries is going to fight Jimmy Jacobs. Because I think he said that's who he wants his last match to be with because of their whole feud in Ring of Honor. I think he's going to fight Jimmy Jacobs. And then I think Masato Yoshino and Pac, they're defending the titles against Shima and Ricochet in actually not a rematch. It was Shima and Dragon Kid, but yeah. Yamato versus Akira Tozawa. That sounds great. Marukidor versus Johnny Gargano and a 6-way freestyle. Two very great shows right there. Definitely recommend ordering the pay-per-view for the April 2nd show. It's the same night as Ring of Honor, but Ring of Honor's in the afternoon. This show's at night, so I think this will work. So I definitely recommend checking out that show, which is next week. And I'm surprised no one's talking about it. It's next week. And I think it's going to be an awesome show. Definitely go order it. ECWA Super 8 Tournament. I talked about this a little bit in my last video. Go order that one as well. That one's on Go Fight Live. I do think we should give this one a chance. Like I said, if most of you saw the video, I did not like last year's ECWA tournament, but this year's different because this year they have a really great cast. I mean, Austin Aries doesn't retire from wrestling; he retires from Dragon Gate USA because he's in this tournament. What am I saying? So yeah, Austin Aries is gonna fight. It's gonna be with the 8 people are gonna be Austin Aries, Sami Callihan. Sorry, Austin Aries, Sami Callihan, Adam Cole, Tommaso Ciampa. Here we go. Tommaso Ciampa. 2 guys who I don't know. Shockwave. I think it's Shockwave. I'm not sure. Bobby Shields. Yeah, it's Shockwave. Bobby Shields. Rich Swann. Shima Zion. Shima Zion is one of the most underrated wrestlers in indie wrestling right now. I love this man. He even messaged me on YouTube thanking me for promoting him. Hey, no problem, man, because you're freaking awesome. And I'm sad that not many people know much about him. He's such a great wrestler, and this tournament I think is gonna be amazing. Go ahead, buy that show too. That show looks awesome as well. And finally, a show that no one is talking about, and I have no idea why. Me and LV on Twitter have been saying how this show looks to be amazing, and that is CCW's Best of the Best. This is the tournament they do every year, and the talent that they have for this show is beyond ridiculous. This is insane. The lineup. that they put on for this show. Okay, so we have Adam Cole, who's the CCW Junior Heavyweight Champion, a great wrestler. We have Jonathan Gresham, who, you know, CCW/Chikara guy. Daisuke Sekimoto. Daisuke Sekimoto. Big Japan star, DDT star. Honor Hammer loves this man, and this good reason. This man is amazing. This guy is a wonder to behold in the ring. He's the best wrestler in all of, I think, in all of both promotions. He's insane. He's going to be there. Chris Hero is going to... Actually, no, Chris Hero... Is Chris Hero a part of... I thought he was just a part of the... whatever. So, yeah. Daisuke Sekimoto. Sami Callihan. A.R. Fox. Jake Christ. Johnny Gargano. Kyle O'Reilly. Grant Akuma. Zack Sabre Jr. If you do not know who Zack Sabre Jr. is, learn. Because he is amazing. He is a wonderful wrestler from England, from Germany, and he's incredible. Then you also have Chuck Taylor, and then you have Brandon Gadsden. So they really went all out. They really brought in everybody. To add to that, you have a dream death match between Jun Kasai and Danny Havoc. And in the main event, the Briscoe brothers and Devin Moore versus the Ego, Robert Anthony, one of my favorite gimmicks of wrestling right now, and Philly's Most Wanted in an all the belts are on the line match. The Briscoes are the tag champs. Robert Anthony's the world champ. So Devin Moore's the number one contender. So the Briscoes and Devin Moore versus Robert Anthony and the previous champs, Philly's Most Wanted. So this card just looks insane. I'm sorry, this card just looks ridiculously insane. I think it's just going to be so much fun. I'm so excited. And yeah, I think you should all order. It's also on iPPV. HighbrideNT.tv right there. Go ahead. They're different. They're not like GoFi Live. They're not like the Dragon Gate pay-per-view company. But they're good too. They stream all the Chikara and CCW DVDs for half the price. So if you don't think you can afford Chikara shows, you could stream the shows for like half the price of the DVD. It's a great deal. So yeah, definitely go ahead. Buy that show as well. That show just looks ridiculous. The brackets are Akuma versus Jonathan Gresham versus Zack Sabre Jr. Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly versus Johnny Gargano. Sami Callihan versus A.R. Fox versus Jake Christ. Brandon Gadsden versus Chuck Taylor versus Daisuke Sekimoto. If you ask me for my predictions, I see Daisuke Sekimoto, Sami Callihan, Adam Cole, and Zack Sabre Jr. winning those four matches. And I see Zack Sabre Jr. Beating Adam Cole in the rematch because they had a match at Germany like a year ago. Not a year ago, like back in November. That Adam Cole won. So I see Zack Sabre Jr. winning that. Then I see Daisuke Sekimoto beating Sami Callihan, and then Daisuke Sekimoto and Zack Sabre Jr. I'm not sure. Whoever wins that. So I don't know if that's how it works. I think it is. So yeah, that's me my predictions. And Jun Kasai versus Danny Havoc, that looks insane. So definitely order that pay-per-view. That pay-per-view looks ridiculous. And yeah, I think that's it. Once again, just check out all the links I provided down there for iPay-per-views. This is such a wonderful month for wrestling. It's my favorite month for wrestling. If you are a wrestling fan, this is the month for you. This is why I consider April to be wrestling's prime. Please go ahead. Check everything out. And there you go. So, oh, shit. I forgot something. WXW. WXW is having a show the same day as CCW. So if you don't want to get both, that's fine. Because they're both the same freaking day. And I understand that could be a lot of money. So, but if you guys do want to know, they do have a great card. In a no-rope barbed wire match, Drake Younger fights Jun Kasai. Chris Hero fights Daisuke Sekimoto. Big Van Walter and Brody Lee versus Johnny Moss and Michael Elgin. That looks good. Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly versus Marty Scurll and Zack Sabre Jr. That also looks like a wonderful show. I'll put that link down there as well. I don't expect you guys to order that one as well, but if you want, give it a chance. So yeah, those are all my links. And moving on to Ring of Honor's SoCal Showdown II. This is an awesome show. Not as good as Only the Strong Survive, but still a great show and a wonderful way to start the year. I'll do this very quickly. The Bravado brothers versus Cedric Alexander, Caleb Konley. This was a very basic by the numbers opener. Bravado brothers get the heat. Caleb Konley did a few dives. Then Bravado brothers cheated to win. It's exactly what you'd expect. There wasn't much to it. Colt Cabana, Jay Briscoe. I was kind of disappointed by this match. I actually thought this would be a little better than what it was. This was kind of flat. It was just kind of there. Not that much to it. Definitely skippable. All Night Express versus Cutler Brothers. This was a good match. Now, the live reports kind of crapped on this match. They kind of said that the Cutler Brothers didn't look good. They didn't get a lot of time. It wasn't a good showing for them. They didn't really get their chance. But I thought the match was fine. Cutler Brothers, they connected on a lot of their offense. The crowd was into it, so I really didn't understand what the problem was. I gave it 3 stars. Yeah, it was short, but I still thought it did everything it should have done. Davey Richards, TJ Perkins. I thought this match was great. I love this match. Now, some people might like it less than I did. I originally gave it 3 3/4. I bumped it up to 4 because the crowd was just insane. And I think this is the match that really kind of made Ring of Honor notice TJ Perkins. Yeah, he had that match with Kyle O'Reilly, and he had that match with Colt Cabana. But I think they brought him back for the Plymouth and New York shows back in March. I think they brought him back because of this match. I think it was this match where they realized, holy shit, this guy's great. So this might be the match that ended up getting TJ Perkins a job in Ring of Honor. So that is why I feel this match is more important. And it was a great match. Like, the crowd was going insane. Like, insane for this match. They really loved what these guys were doing. And more power to them, because I really think that if anybody deserves to get a job in Ring of Honor, it's TJ Perkins. He's one of the most talented wrestlers in the world right now. And I'm very glad that ROH is capitalizing on his talent. And also, we had Christopher Daniels versus Mark Briscoe. This was fine. This was actually pretty good. But it was just, nothing that memorable or special. I don't think anyone and their mothers thought Mark Briscoe was going to win this match. But it was still a good match. The crowd still was into it. And Christopher Daniels had a good showing. So, yeah. And so we got the Kings of Wrestling versus Wrestling's Greatest Tag Team. I thought this match was great. I like this match more than their Glory by Honor match. I understand, because I think that match is really overrated. So, maybe that's why. But this match, I don't know. It felt like, to me, it was better. Shelton and Charlie had been in ROH a little longer. They had already had a few ROH matches by this point on the TV tapings at Louisville. And they kind of adjusted to the style. Like, when Shelton got a hot tag in this match, and he was going crazy, and his offense was definitely different. You could definitely see a change in pace from when he wrestled at Glory by Honor to now. I thought he had a really good showing now. And they both just wrestled really well. They told a nice story, and I don't know, maybe because it was more quote-unquote spotty, that I really enjoyed it, because I noticed a lot of people who really liked their Glory by Honor match because Lance Storm said it wasn't overkill. But I'm not going to say this was overkill, because it wasn't. I just thought it was really, really good. A lot of the spots were just really entertaining. The crowd was really into it. I thought this match was great. I liked it more than their first match. So, yeah. Then we got Roddy and El Generico. This was really, really good, but it was missing something. Roddy was working over El Generico. Then El Generico hits a dive, and then they kind of trade spots. And then Roddy hits him with the title and wins the match. Not much to it. Next big thing was telling me how they were doing this good storyline with Roddy, of him being like a quote-unquote killer. Like how he gave Davey a concussion, he busted Jay Briscoe wide open. And I thought they would continue that here, but they really didn't. Like, Jay Briscoe, after the match, said, "Hey, Roddy, you got to stop hitting people in the head with title belts to win." And I'm like, that's happened once, tonight. I mean, I guess it kind of continues it, because it involves hitting someone in the head and pinning them that way. But to me, I don't know. To me, it didn't really further along the storyline they were going with Roderick Strong as champion. It was still a really good match. I just don't know. Something was missing from it for me. It was like their first match at Pick Your Poison that everybody said was so awesome. And to me, I only gave it 3 3/4. Again, these guys, I always think their matches are really good. I just never think they're great. But I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I think a lot of people are going to think this was the match of the night. I personally thought the Kings of Wrestling World's Greatest Tag Team was the match of the night. So I'm going to give it an 8.5. There's 2 great matches. There's a really, really good match. 2 other good matches. And some decent action in the first 2 matches. Definitely, because I think a lot of people are going to give the main event 4 stars. And I think it's one of those things where if you rated all of them 4 stars, you would give this an 8.5, 8.75. I rated it slightly less, and because of that, I have to knock my rating down half a point. Like, some people think there's an actual star rating structured system. If you have a 4-star match and a 3 3/4 star match, it must be at least an 8 out of 10. I don't believe in that. And I definitely look at my ratings for Only the Strong Survive. They were very similar to this show. And so I'm going to give this an 8.5. I thought it was an excellent show. You get so many really good matches, and the reason I gave it an 8.5, I bumped it up from an 8.25, is because it's so easy to sit through. Show's really short. Show's only 2 hours and 20 minutes. However, if you consider the fact that the Kings of Wrestling did an opening promo, and Davey, and Jay did a closing promo, if you really think about it, the show's really only 2 hours, because those 2 promos took up like 15 minutes of the show. So the whole show is really short, and it's really enjoyable too. There's only 7 matches. It's so easy to sit through. I saw the show in 2 sittings. I saw the first 6 matches last night, and then it was really late. It was like 3 in the morning. I went to bed. I woke up this morning, and then I saw the main event. I would have seen the whole show in one sitting. It's so easy to sit through. There's a lot of great stuff. I definitely recommend picking up SoCal Showdown. Definitely a recommended show for myself. FCW. I went to an FCW show yesterday. Most of you follow me on Twitter. I thought the show was decent. They had an opening battle royal, which I thought was all right. There wasn't much to it. There was just all the FCW guys who were on the show. Then we had Husky Harris versus Bo Rotunda versus Michael McGillicuddy versus Brett DiBiase in a 4-way. Brett DiBiase was really impressive, like really impressive. He can go in the WWE in my opinion. They had a really fun match. Harris and McGillicuddy worked over, traded working over both DiBiase and Rotunda. They had a really fun match. The crowd was really into it. Everybody was taunting Husky Harris, which was pretty funny. It was a really enjoyable match. Like, I don't star rate live matches, but I would say it was in the 3.25 star range, so to speak, because I thought it was a pretty good match. And my definition for pretty good match translate into 3 through 3.25. That's how I can do that. Then we got Xavier Woods versus Conor O'Brien. I didn't see NXT Season 4, so I didn't see anything of Conor O'Brien. Xavier Woods' Consequences Creed. This match was short, it was fine. It was like 5 minutes. They didn't do much. Creed just did a comeback, and he won like out of nowhere. Crowd didn't really expect it. I thought the match was fine. I would say okay. I wanted to call it. Yesterday on my Twitter, I said it was bad. Maybe I thought it was bad because I thought finish came out of nowhere, but I would say it was just fine. Then we got Oksana versus Naomi. This match was horrible. There was also a women's referee called Sonia. She was terrible. She screwed up the finish. Very reminiscent of like Rocky Romero, Alex Kozoff. Obviously not with an armbar off the top rope, but in the sense that you don't know whether or not she counted 3. Everyone's kind of confused. She actually had to look to the ring bell guy and say, was that 2 or was that 3? I was like, you're the referee. That's your call. And then the ring bell guy said, that's 3. And she said, okay, that's 3. It's over. It's over. And the crowd was like, what? And I had the exact reaction. What? And the match sucked too. It was sloppy as hell. I'm really glad that Naomi didn't win NXT because I thought she was kind of overrated. Everyone was going crazy saying how she was this new star. I never really saw that from her. And in this match, she didn't show me anything to change my mind. In this match, she was sloppy left and right, and I didn't enjoy anything about this match. Bad, horrible match. Then we got the FCW champion, Lucky Cannon versus Hunico versus Tito Colon. Lucky Cannon came out and started insulting the Latinos. Hunico, who wrestles under a mask, defended them. And then Tito Colon, to start the match, gave Hunico a backstabber, which is kind of funny because he's a Colon, Carlito's finisher. And he turned heel. And I thought it was really good because going into the match, I'm like, there's 2 faces and there's 1 heel. How are they going to do this triple threat? They did it really well. They did 2 heels and 1 face. They always teased whether or not Lucky Cannon and Tito would break up. They always like pretend to start fighting and then just start hugging each other. And then eventually I think Cannon accidentally clotheslined Tito, and then they finally started fighting each other. And then Hunico took advantage. Hunico's fine, but he's not that great. He was kind of botchy in parts. I thought his offense was fine though. And yeah, he had Hunico ended up they had a fine match. I really enjoyed the match. I wouldn't say really enjoyed. I had fun with it, but I recognized the match wasn't that great. It was decently good, like barely good. Now, again, I'm not star rating live matches. I'm just translating here. Barely good in my ratings means 2 3/4 stars. So that would be around what I would give it because it was fun. But like I said, Hunico was really sloppy. And the finish was, Hunico just gave Tito a senton. Lucky Cannon booted Hunico in the face, and then Lucky Cannon stole the pin to keep the title. It was whatever. Lucky Cannon's mic skills have improved a lot. Like, a lot from NXT. And I remember, what part was really funny? When Tito gave him the backstabber, there was these guys next to me like, this shit's fake. That Tito's not even a real Puerto Rican. He's probably a New Yorker. And I looked at him and I said, no, he's a real Puerto Rican. He really is Puerto Rican. And I just thought that part was kind of funny. So yeah, it was a fun match, I guess. Not much to it though. I also thought I could have used a little more time. Then we got the main event. The reason I went to the show. For those who do not know, where is it? Hold on a second. For those who do not know, I went to that show for one reason. He followed me on Twitter. Tyler Black wrote on his Twitter that he was coming to Miami. And so I said, really? And so I looked it up, and I realized it was at a local fair, and there was an autograph session. And I'm like, I got to go meet Tyler Black. So I went. I was so excited. The autograph tickets were like $40, but I didn't care. The regular show was $10. The autograph tickets were $40 fucking dollars. And I was like, I don't care. You know, I never get to... Tyler Black used to be my favorite wrestler in Ring of Honor before Davey Richards and Kenny Omega hit their prime. But he used to be. And so I brought 2 DVDs. I brought, cause I have this in the bag because I haven't put the bag away. I brought Fade to Black from Ring of Honor, and I brought Fade to Black from AEW. And I was going to have him sign both of them. I was there. I was wondering, I was asking everybody there, is Tyler Black going to be at the autograph session? Is Tyler Black going to be at the autograph session? And of course, everyone there was like, they had no idea what I was talking about because they're not wrestling people. They just work for the fair. And so finally, I'm eating a burger outside next to Brodus Clay. I didn't talk to him because he was eating, he was talking, and I've read enough wrestling books where I know when a wrestler's eating and relaxing, you don't bother him. They don't like that. So I just kind of let him be. And I saw him talking something like, I didn't hear the full conversation, so I don't want to assume anything, but he was saying something to the effect of, so then he said, "You're so fat. Why are you here instead of me? I'm so much better than you. How are you getting pushed so hard?" I thought that was interesting. I'm not going to say, I don't know who said it to who or what, but that's what happened. And I saw Tyler Black go to the autograph table. He was right next to Ricky Steamboat. I was so pumped. I'm like, yes, yes, there's Tyler, there's Ricky. I'm going to go, I'm going to meet Ricky Steamboat. I'm going to give Tyler Black my DVDs. I'm going to talk to him. It's going to be great, like a true mark, like as mark as it comes. And then I go to get my ticket, and she says, "I'm sorry, sir, the autograph tickets are sold out." Granted, I saved $40, but still, fuck! This state doesn't give 3 shits about wrestling, and now you're telling me the fucking autograph tickets are sold out? God damn it! Who actually watches FCW anyways? I was furious. I was like, no! And then she said, "Sir, the show doesn't start for another 2 hours," because on the FCW website, it says the show starts at 7:30. On the Fair's website, it says 9. Now, I should have trusted the Fair's website, but I didn't. I trusted FCW. So I went home, came back, because the Fair's very close to my house, and I saw the show. And, yeah, so so I came just to see Tyler Black. And I was about to leave, so I said, "Is Tyler Black in the main event? If he's not, I'm not even going to waste my time. I'm just going to go home." And then they say, the main event for tonight is Seth Rollins and Richie Steamboat versus the tag champs, Damian Sandow and Titus O'Neil in a tag title match. And I was like, all right, I'm staying. And they had a really good match. Really fun. Very good. Very, very, very good match. I really enjoyed it. Tyler Black is so much fun to watch. This was my first time seeing him live. And granted, it's not Ring of Honor, but like his match here was better than his match at Civil Warfare, in my opinion. So like, don't act like seeing him in Ring of Honor, it could not be better than this experience, because he was really good. He was flying everywhere. He has all his moves. A slight ROH chant even broke out, which I thought was kind of funny. So it was just a really, really. I didn't chant Ring of Honor, but I did chant Seth Rollins. He was definitely the most over guy in the show. It wasn't even close. And he had a really fun match. It was really enjoyable. And then finally, he and Ricky Steamboat hit double super kicks to Titus O'Neil, and they won the tag titles. And I jumped out. I was like, no way! I even went on Twitter and I was like, holy shit! And I took a twit pic of it because I couldn't believe it. A show that I just came just to attend the autograph session, because I wasn't even planning on attending the show unless Tyler Black was on it. A show that I went to just to attend the autograph session. And I see Tyler Black win his first WWE affiliated title. I was so happy. I'm like, if Tyler Black ever writes a book, his first WWE title victory will be this one. It's not the WWE, but it still counts in a way. And I was so happy. I was like smiling. I was like, yes, yes, yes. I can't believe I just saw that. Yes. And it was a really great moment. I waited outside the locker room where the wrestlers were exiting. For those of you who do not know the story, I saw like Eli Cottonwood, Michael McGillicuddy, Husky Harris, even Brodus Clay again. I didn't care about them. I wanted to talk to Tyler. I wanted to at least say, "Hey Tyler, can you please sign these DVDs?" Maybe ask him a question and then move on. Then Tyler Black came out and he had a towel around his waist. And I was like, ooh. I was like, I better not approach him. So I just kind of walked away and went home. So, yeah, it was a fun show. FCW has decent wrestlers. You know, they're not as bad as people say. They have some talent down there. And I do think that some of those guys are ready to go to the WWE. So it's a fun experience. So I enjoyed that. So that's that. SoCal Showdown. Great show. April. Check out all the links I put in the description box of all the iPay-per-views. I'm not saying buy all of them. That's a lot of money. But just like buy the ones that you like. Buy the ones that intrigue you. So with that, I am Big Grat 310. And I'm out. This video was really long. See ya.